Hello, everyone. Welcome to the C.E.S. Connect podcast, where we will reach through the air by navigating agility, maximizing impact, and embracing relevance. Today, we are very fortunate to have as our special guest Eric Nyquist, the principal for RCA, the Regional Center for Performing Arts, and the Open Choice Coordinator. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So Eric, I don't know if you're versed on how this goes. There's going to be a few different sections, some topics where I ask about you, Eric Nyquist, then some sections where we talk about you and your professional roles. Then we might have to visit Stacey's atmosphere. And then finally, we end with the rapid fire questions. And those will be the first things that come into your mind.
Great.
So just say.
I've seen them all. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to live up to Dr. Dumais and Chris LaBelle and Mike McGrath. I mean, these were great interviews, so I'm going to try to do my best.
Thank you for that. I hope that everyone who watches these enjoys these. I am going to give out a little shout to my friends Maya and Leslie, who I know are avid watchers as well. But all right, so let's get into this. Let's learn about Eric. So all about Eric is topic one. Question one, Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you could talk about your family, your working career, whatever you want.
Okay. Pass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Eric Nyquist. I live here in Trumbull. I live about a minute and a half from RCA, which is a really nice commute.
Okay.
I have a beautiful wife who is a chemistry teacher at Massac High School in Monroe, and an amazing daughter who is a sophomore pre-med major at University of Virginia down in Charlottesville, Virginia, and our cute puggle Bailey. That is our family, and I'm so happy to be here today and tell you a little bit about myself and about our programs.
All right, that was all quite intriguing. So now I just have a few follow-up though.
Sure.
Do you walk to work?
I do not walk to work. I take my Jeep to work. I love my Jeep, and especially in the summer with the top off, I love to take that to work. I have ridden my bicycle, but I find I get very sweaty when I ride in my bicycle in the summer. Have you ever sweat before? Is that any?
I sweat a lot, but let me tell you, I don't ride bicycles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's dangerous.
So when I ride my bike to work, sometimes I sweat too much, and then I have the underarm perspiration, and it's embarrassing. So I don't do that as much. I usually drive to work.
If you sweat a lot, you should wear dark colors because it usually doesn't show.
Oh, okay. Good tip.
Okay, and wait, Puggle?
Yes.
Puggle's name is?
Bailey.
Oh, that is true. Oh, yeah. Bailey, girl or boy?
Bailey is a girl.
Okay, how old?
She's 4.
Oh,
and she's a snuggler. She likes to snuggle right up with you, and if I'm working on the computer, she wants to sit on my lap in between me and the computer. Last night I was playing guitar. I play guitar, and I was playing guitar, and she jumped up on top of the guitar, so she was sitting here, and she just likes to be around people.
That has to be worked into one of your shows.
I will try.
Okay. All right. Well, on to question number 2. Can you tell us more about your theatrical career and maybe a little bit about some past students of yours?
Sure. So I've had a really sort of fun, wonderful theatrical career. I've gotten to perform in New York many times, especially Shakespeare, mostly Shakespeare. I was with Connecticut Free Shakespeare for 15 years as one of their principal actors. So I got to play roles like Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet and Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And just had some wonderful experiences with them. Lots of stuff in New York. I've done 4 national tours where I got to see, on those tours, I saw 32 states. And just had some great experiences. Maybe the coolest part of my experience was I got to perform in Moscow at the Moscow Art Theater in Russia for 6 months. I did A Midsummer Night's Dream and Metterlinck's The Blind, 2 performances in repertoire, and we did that for 6 months in Moscow, and that was just amazing to be.
When was that?
1998.
Wow.
And so, but to be there and to be, performing right next to the Kremlin, and it's just something I never thought a kid from Connecticut, never dreamed that would be the case. But so it's been nice. But I always sort of knew that I wanted a family, and I always loved teaching, and so even when I was on tour, even when I was in Russia, I was always thinking, how am I going to use this when I go
Mm-hmm.
back to teaching? And so I was able to do that. I taught in Monroe at Massac High School for a bunch of years, which is where I met my wife. And then I got an offer to teach all theater in Hamden, Connecticut,
Mm.
and I did that for a long time. And then I moved to central office in Hamden and
Mm-hmm.
ran all of the art, music, and theater for the whole district. And that's when I found out about this job. About 10 years later, I found out about this job, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the one I'll retire from because I love it here.
Oh, that is so nice. And I must say, I agree. As someone who spent her whole career here at
Mm.
CES, I agree that we are fortunate to be a very, very special place where our jobs are not just our jobs, but I think, what we do here becomes more of our passion and therefore more of just what we are compelled to do, and we're lucky to do it together. And I'm so glad, especially learning all of that, that we are graced to have you with us and certainly be the head of RCA. That is wonderful. Are there any students that you feel comfortable sharing about with us to tell
Sure.
us a little more
I've had
from
lots
that?
of students who have been successful in lots of different places, not just in the performing arts. But I'm thinking you're thinking along the lines of something in theater. So I have one student who studied with me at Hamden High, did not go to college for theater. Her dad thought she should go for business, so
Mm.
she did. She was working in a bank in New York, had never done any theater outside of high school, and she saw an ad for an open call for a Broadway show about Gloria Estefan,
No.
On Your Feet. And she auditioned for it, and I talked her through the process, and she was the understudy for the lead role of Gloria in her first
Wow.
audition outside of high school, and that has gone on. She was also in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, and most recently she was Andrew Lloyd Webber's Bad Cinderella, his first Latina lead on Broadway, and she played the role of Bad Cinderella.
How amazing.
Yes,
That is wonderful. Well, clearly her talent shone through even when she tried to leave, the theater.
yeah,
So I'm
and
so glad
and
she was discovered and has excelled. That's
it's been
wonderful.
great, and it's been great watching her because she's so humble and she's so sweet and hardworking, and just everybody's thrilled for her because everybody loves her. She's such a positive person. So yeah, it's been fun watching her rise in her career.
Excellent. Okay, Eric, now you have a very special position here at CES
Mhm.
because you run two programs. So let's start by talking about Open Choice. Can
Okay.
you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. Open Choice is a program where students who live in Bridgeport, Norwalk, or Danbury, um, or New Haven or Hartford, but I don't run um, those students can apply for the opportunity to go to schools in the local suburban suburban schools, such
Mm-hmm.
as Westport, Trumbull, Fairfield. The program is intended to give parents in cities choices for
Mm-hmm.
education, but also to allow the suburbs to have more diversity. We all know that a diverse classroom is a wonderful and
Mm-hmm.
enriched classroom. So that's what our program aims to do. Parents can apply for their kids. Once they're accepted, they can go there throughout high school, through
Oh,
graduation. So if you're accepted in kindergarten, say into the Westport school system, you are going to go through the Westport school system and graduate from Staples High School.
wow.
So it's a great program. We get about Bridgeport, we get about 850 applications a year for about 15 spots. So
Oh.
it is hard to get into, but those who are lucky enough to get in,
Mm-hmm.
they have a wonderful opportunity to go to school in one of those suburban districts.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't even think I knew that about the program. So thank you for letting me learn
Sure,
that.
no problem.
Now, can you
Okay.
tell us, as RCA principal, what makes it so special over
Uh,
there?
so when I got the job, I met with each teacher that summer individually, and I asked them all that same question: What makes RCA so special? And every single teacher said, "It's the kids. It's the kids that we have." And so I was like, oh, "Okay, good, corny answer. Let's see." That's the exact answer. We have 210 kids right now, all of whom want to be there,
Mm-hmm.
all of whom bring their best selves just about every day, um, all striving for the same thing. When I was in eighth grade, I was in the chorus at my middle school, and I was the one of few who actually liked singing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the kids were there just because they had to take a class. And the teacher put me in for what's called the all state
Mm-hmm.
chorus. And when I got to all state, everybody there loved to sing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like there are other people just like me. Well, that's what our students find at RCA. They find students who are dedicated, who are passionate about the performing arts, who really want to learn. And because of that, they all learn at a very high level and help each other and collaborate. And that's kids from 15 different schools, from Ridgefield and Weston and Fairfield to Bridgeport to Stratford to Shelton to Monroe. We get kids from all over and they mesh together to learn the performing arts.
Wow, I wish I had that opportunity. I have to say, I'm a little bit of a theater kid myself, but certainly not to that level.
I would never know that you were a theatrical
Yeah.
person. I wouldn't know why they, picked you for this opportunity.
Would you guess I'm a stage manager?
Oh my gosh, of
I
course.
ooze stage manager.
So you're very organized and you're very on top of things and you like to make sure people do what they're supposed to do.
Just a little.
Yeah. You're very good at it, I bet.
Thank you. I hope. All right. So now you often say how lucky of a principal you are because of the kids, but you obviously bring an enthusiasm and an energy into all you do and also all that your instructors do. Can you tell us about some of the instructors and the teachers as well?
Sure. I mean, the enthusiasm part is easy because we all are there because we want to help kids get better at the performing arts. That's the goal, and it's not so that they can all go on to Broadway or singing careers or dance careers. One of our dancers this year, one of our absolutely spectacular dancers, she wants to go to law school. She wants to be an entertainment lawyer, and she said, I will always have dance in my life, but I don't want that to be the thing that pays my rent or pays my mortgage. I think it's a great thing, but all of the things she learned are going to stay with her. So it's easy to be enthusiastic about the program. And I have these great teachers who are all professionals in their area. So professional musicians. One of our music teachers, he's the bass player for the Goodspeed Opera House, and he's in a band called the Jolly Beggars, who during March they play all over the tri-state area. And I have dance teachers who dance professionally, and I have media teachers who are filming professionally. So, and really, they just want to give back to the kids and help them to realize their potential and their dreams. So, I have tremendous teachers who are there for the kids, and it makes it a pleasure to be their principal.
Can you tell us anything additionally about arts and education? What else can we learn about that?
I mean, listen, this is an age-old thing where when I was in other positions, they sometimes asked me to justify the arts in terms of how they helped kids with the core academic subjects. And while they do, because music helps you learn fractions and math, and when you're analyzing a script, you're learning text analysis and you're learning to have compassion for other people. So they do absolutely help kids with the core academics, but really the performing arts are their own reward. Students are learning how to be compassionate adults. They're learning how things work in the world, how to collaborate with other people. Theater and musical theater are such dependent arts on the other people that are in it with you. You can be a great lead actor, but if everybody around you isn't doing what they need to do, and the lighting person isn't doing what they need to do, and the sound person, then it's not going to come off. So I love the fact that arts teach kids so much about persistence and dedication and hard work and collaboration. And so on top of that, I think they do help with math and science and social studies and English. But that's not the big reward. The big reward is they help kids be great adults, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
Well, thank you.
Guess what?
What?
Stacey's Hatmosphere has arrived.
Okay.
Now, all right. So I have to give a spoiler that today is Valentine's Day. So even though this may drop at another time, today we are filming. It's actually Valentine's Day. So that was part of my motivation in making some selections today. but also anticipating that by the time this episode is dropped to all of you out there, that hopefully it's going to be a little more springy outside. As we are coming off yesterday, which was our biggest storm of the year thus far. So with all of that as my motivation, I said, I think we're going to go with a bit of a spring theme. And I am wondering, out of these 3 items, which might be speaking strongly to you today, Eric? And then why?
All right. I'm going to go with this one.
Oh, okay. She's a very special piece.
And here's why. When I was in high school, I was in Hello, Dolly.
Oh, I love Hello, Dolly. I can't even
Wow, that sparked a chord.
Wow, I really love that show.
So I played Barnaby in Hello, Dolly. And it was a great show, and we had such fun. Even though it's an older show, we had a great cast. And this reminds me of one of the hats that Dolly wore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on.
That is beautiful.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to be back home where you belong. There we go.
Well, I am glad you chose that piece. Actually, she is a prized possession that I got on one of my many trips. But yes, I probably
from where? Where did you get it from?
Actually, Virginia.
Where my daughter goes to
Kismet,
it's a big circle.
But yes, she is a special item, and I wonder that could be one of the reasons I've always loved her so much. I do love Hello, Dolly. That is a fabulous show. I am happy to say I worked on that in my stage managing time at Holy Cross High School, given a throwout in Waterbury, Connecticut, where I got my theater chops in. But yes, I'm so glad you picked that piece. Out of the 3,
they're all great.
And no. All right, guess what? We're at rapid fire.
All right, I'm ready to go.
So 5 questions.
Okay.
First thing off the top of your head, as long as it's not profane. Okay, number 1. What is your favorite RCA performance? First thing?
The last one we just did, RCA's Got Talent, because many departments are involved and it's a big fundraiser, and it's just and the kids do it all. No teachers have anything to do with it. So RCA's Got Talent is my favorite every year.
All right, excellent answer. Number 2, what is your favorite quote?
So it's a quote from Stephen Sondheim. I chose and my world was shaken. So what? The choice may have been mistaken, but choosing was not. You have to move on.
Number 3, who is your favorite playwright?
Shakespeare.
Number 4, what never fails to make you laugh?
The Office. I am a huge Office fan. I have watched it 400 times. My wife is so sick of it. I love it. I love every line of it. I love every character. The Office makes me laugh every single time.
That is wonderful. Final one. Finish the phrase. C.E.S. is
my place to go, where I know everybody here is about children.
Thank you so much, Eric. This was a treat and a wonderful time. And I know we weren't your first interview today. It just goes to show how popular you are. But
you were my best interview of the day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But really, we are just so happy to have you here today, but to have you as part of our family, making a difference in children's lives. And may we continue to do so moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time today.
You are welcome. Everybody, just keep in mind our next episode, we will be with Emma Warren Balter, principal at 66 Magnet School. So be there, be square. Bye, friends.